Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 11. So Module 11, we are moving on to the last genre in literature that we're going to cover this semester, and that is drama. So we'll be reading plays for the next couple of modules, and you will be doing some of the same types of things that you did in the previous units for short stories and poems. Now, the one thing that I want you to remember about drama is that this genre has a lot in common with both short stories and plays and poems. Short stories, you can see that the plot lines will be very similar. We'll have the same discussion about how the story is created, the narrative itself. And with poems, you'll see a lot of similarity with the wording that's used, because a lot of plays, especially older plays, are actually written in a poetry form. So there's a lot of similarities. However, keep in mind that drama is also drastically different. And the main reason is because in a literature class, you're only getting about half of the play itself. And what I mean by that is just reading a script on the page is completely not really ignoring, but is not including the second part of drama, which is watching it being performed. Because just reading the words that are supposed to be said by characters really is not going to tell you how the play would be performed. And so every version of a play is going to be performed a little bit differently. There's a lot that goes into, those of you who've done theater before, a lot that goes into the decisions that are made on the stage. So how the stage is set up, how the actors will say certain lines, even how close they're standing or how far away they are, how many pieces of furniture on the set. Like, there's a lot of decisions that are made by the director, by the budget that they have, all of that kind of thing. And so there's some drastic differences in how you might view a play based on how it's performed. And so we've got here a couple of things that I want you to read for this unit. You're going to be reading the chapter on understanding drama, and just like the short stories, you're really only going to have one. I think this one just has one play to read. I'm not sure if the next unit you have more than one, but plays take a while. So they're longer than short stories, shorter than novels, but they're also, I think, really boring to read just on the page. And so the way I prefer to do it is, so I don't, lose track of what's going on, I prefer to watch it and look at it at the same time, which is harder to do when you're looking at an ebook. But you could also, it's just to follow along kind of thing. You could, watch it on another device or something like that. But I do have a video of the full play of the one that you're being assigned for this unit, which is The Bear, or The Brute, which is one of the best short one-act plays in my opinion. I love this play. So anyway, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking over that introduction to drama, give you a little bit of the history of drama, etc. Take the quiz, just like we've done before, and then your writing assignment is just a simple response assignment, which is to answer the questions after you've read The Brute. So The Brute is here, and you can see how it's set up on the page and makes it a little bit more difficult to read. If you've never had to read a play before, usually they start off with who the characters are, and then we get anything in italics is not said out loud, and so unless it's an emphasis within the line, and then we might have some like stage directions that are in there that the actor may or may not be using to help decide how that line is said. And then there will also be directions like exit, so we know that that character is no longer on stage, or enter, that kind of thing. So that kind of gives you a visual of who's here and who's not. And then, all the way down, it takes a while to read through. This play, by the way, was originally written in Russian, and so the translation is going to be different. I've seen multiple different versions of this script, and so that video that I posted is kind of a film version of it, And so they, as they're talking, it probably won't match up exactly, which is, I know, annoying, but that, you know, at least you can get how it's supposed to be performed and how it's supposed to look. So when you're done, you're going to answer these questions. Some of the questions are just kind of personal opinion type things. And then, you know, after you've read, what do you think of it? Do you feel like the characters have distinctive voices? So I'm expecting you to give a thorough response to each one. The only thing that you might have difficulty with is number 9 and 10 kind of go together. So this one is a quote that you're supposed to be thinking about, but there's not actually a question for number 9. And then number 10 is to kind of think about how this statement applies to, I don't know why they made them separate questions. Could have been all one, but you're just responding to. So it's a lot of personal opinion and kind of personal response to. And so there's not really a wrong answer to these questions. It's really just, what did you think of it? And, you know, how did you feel about reading through it or watching or both? And so that's the drama response assignment, a pretty simple assignment for you to do. And then you're also going to start working on your research project again. By this point, you should have some feedback on your topic, because I think you did that in module 9. So I will be leaving that feedback for you. And once you have an approval of your topic, then you can start doing some research. So this assignment is just asking you to make a list of sources about your topic. So fairly simple. They need to be good academic sources about your topic. They may not necessarily be like database sources depending on your topic. You may have, like, if you're doing dystopian YA novels, then you're probably going to have a couple of those dystopian YA novels on your list of sources. So, or, you know, interviews with the authors or something like that. You definitely can include more than 5. If you're trying to just find a bunch of sources, that's totally fine. But you only need 5 for this particular assignment. I will not be checking, like, cross-referencing with the final version of your project. So if you don't end up using some of these sources and you have to find different ones for your project itself, that's totally fine. Remember, your project, you may not actually even be using sources because your project may be visual, and that's totally fine as well. Some of your sources then may be, I don't know, you know, some like oil painting techniques or something like that. That's fine too. But the idea is that, let's say you want to do a painting of your favorite scene from, you know, one of the Telltale Heart. I don't know if we read that one. So let's say you want to do a painting of the Telltale Heart. So Telltale Heart's going to be one of your sources. We might have a biography of Edgar Allan Poe as one of your sources. We might have a website on a realistic diagram of a heart, parts of the heart or something like that as one of your sources. You know, so we're going to have some different sources that either are going to help you with the drawing itself or are just about the topic so that you can see it further, investigate it further. Maybe you have a like gothic horror website or something like that, because that's the style that you want to embody within the painting. So however you want to do it is fine. But you're basically, this is just a list of sources in MLA style. You don't need any other information, so you don't need a paragraph. You know, it's not an annotated bibliography, so it's just a list of sources. You can, if you want, use the databases from the library. I encourage you to do that, especially since you can copy and paste the MLA citation. However, right now they're not working, so I can't show you them to you. So you can use that if you want to. I also have some examples of different types of sources and that kind of thing on a page about research and documentation. So if you have questions, you can always send me an email, or if you're not sure if you're doing it right. The main thing is make sure you're using MLA and not APA. That is the biggest mistake students make, and you will lose points for it. So if you have any questions, send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.